All right. Yeah, sorry I'm a little bit late. I'm still trying to not be late to streams, I swear. I swear. It's just, it's just some things happen. Technically, this is very early, right? Because normally we stream at like 7 EST, 8 EST. Normally we stream kind of late, right? Like 7 EST. So technically this is like early in the context of general streams, but late in the context of this stream. So it depends how you look at it. I look at Brick Wall, says Lorge, no top hat. Was I supposed to wear a top hat? Because it's 4th of July? Nate Wood said, okay, all right. So I was seeing some comments. I was seeing some comments about Luz Vasquez says it's Morj's time. Exactly. Seeing some comments in the chat about, 4th of July. Should we even be celebrating this? For those of you who are not American, 4th of July is the day that America celebrates America. All right, so that's basically a big holiday, I guess, as far as holidays go in America. All right, but there's obviously been some conversation. Should we even be celebrating it? I want you to consider a few things. One, I kind of just need a topic and thumbnail for streams. So that's number one. Morj needs a theme for his stream. And today's 4th of July, so it was relatively easy. Two, I don't think of 4th of July as celebrating America, all right? I think of 4th of July as celebrating the day, okay? Because what is 4th of July about? Beer, burgers, barbecue, fireworks. These are all things that I like, and I'm happy to celebrate that. I'm not celebrating anything grander than, just those general things. You guys get what I'm saying? You're celebrating the day. When I'm celebrating a Chinese New Year, I don't actually celebrate Chinese New Year. But hypothetically, if I were to celebrate Chinese New Year, I'm not really celebrating China per se. I'm celebrating Chinese things like Chinese things, Chinese food, stuff like that. You guys get it, right? Better analogy, when I'm celebrating Christmas, I'm not celebrating Christianity, personally. Some of you probably are. But I'm personally not celebrating Christianity. I'm just celebrating stuff that happens with Christmas. Presents, the trees. You guys know the Christmas shit, right? Family. That's what you're celebrating. You're celebrating the day. So I think everyone can celebrate 4th of July, even if you don't want to necessarily celebrate America. Maybe some of you do want to celebrate America. We don't have to walk down that rabbit hole, but you can celebrate the day. In fact, what's everybody doing right now? Luz Vasquez says, Movie Morj Rise of Gru video essay. I have no fucking idea how the Minions franchise, because Minions, that shit came out literally like 10 years ago. I was in high school when Minions came out. Not Minions, Despicable Me. And I saw it, and I was like, that's a movie. Really, really all right as far as, kids' movies go. No real problems with it. I am to this day mind blown by how much Minions have survived and thrived over the following 10 years. It makes no fucking sense to me. I laughed at the Minions maybe a couple times throughout that Despicable Me movie, but those Minions fucking grabbed a hold of a whole generation of children and were like, you belong to us now. And they just basically ruled a bunch of kids. I feel like all Zoomers grew up on Minions, right? Zoomers and under. I don't even know what's below Zoomers. I don't like thinking about a generation that's even lower than them, because then that just makes me feel old. But you know what I mean. Van Ort says, Happy 4th of July. How do you feel about the future? Because honestly, the last few years feel like a lead up to an apocalypse. I try not to think about it like that. I think it's all good. Not not literally all good, but I like to think that the future is not headed towards an apocalypse. Just makes me feel a little bit better. I like to think that things will work themselves out over the next 4 decades or so, but it'll just take some more rough patches and really hard, let's say, without making the stream too real worldy and too much into how I feel about certain things, right? I think that once you line up a certain number of, you can already feel strong reactions to certain things that are happening right nowadays. So I think in the moment, it can feel as though everything is heading in a certain terrible direction. But I think the more and more you elicit these like there's these sort of wake-up call moments for the country. I think those things stack over time to lead towards more change in the long term. So it can feel, doom and gloom at the moment, but I don't think that necessarily means like everything's heading in a certain direction long term. That's just my thoughts on it, and I'm probably not the best person to ask about this. So I can talk One Piece if you guys want me to talk about One Piece. Ivan back from the card shop says, crazy your birthday is the 4th. What a proud patriotic American, Mr. Morj. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. How Jr. says, hey, Morj. Just would like to say that the amount of your fans that would bang speed are a reflection of your ideals and content, and please don't get bald. Man, why you gotta throw getting bald in there? I'm more worried about my hair than I am about the future of this country. And I've got a lot of hair right now, but I still am concerned. Schoolboy says, Morj, so inspirational. That's right. Everyone can celebrate July 4th. Now, if you want to protest July 4th, by all means, go ahead. You can protest as you please. But everyone can celebrate July 4th, I think, without feeling guilt. Because, look, we all have to work, most days a week. God damn it, we should be able to sit down one day and just be like, fuck, this day is a day that's scheduled for us to get drunk, go to some cookouts, watch some stuff explode in the sky. I think that that's every person's right, whether you're from America or not. In fact, as I was saying, if you're not from America, just take the day off, call in sick to work, go buy yourself a six-pack, get some friends together, get some people together, go outside, cook up something good, and, blow some shit up. It's a nice day. It's a fun time. Uninspired says, will you be eating burgers or hot dogs on this fine American day? I'm convinced no one actually likes hot dogs that much. I feel like people only eat hot dogs when hot dogs are around, That's why, hot dogs, they have to be forced on you. There's never a time that you go around looking to buy, you're never like, oh boy, what do I want for dinner? Okay, let me find a restaurant that serves fucking hot dogs, right? Hot dogs, they're always, you only eat them in contexts where they're forced on you, right? So you're at a baseball game or some shit, or you're at some event, and then someone will be going around yelling about hey, we have hot dogs. We've got hot dogs here. Does anyone want hot dogs? Right? They're always vendors. You can only be a hot dog vendor. You got to push it. You got to be a salesperson. Hey, we've got some hot dogs here. Please come and eat some hot dogs. Nobody in their right mind is just man, I could really go for some fucking hot dogs right now. What a great dinner. There's no better options than some hot dogs. Daniel Dornan says, happy 4th, Morj. If Oda dropped the ball with Wano after 10 years of build-up, imagine what he'll do with the final saga after 25 years. Happy birthday. Oda took some time off. Thanks, I appreciate it. It is, Rajesh Narayan says, I love hot dogs. Yeah, but in what context do you eat the hot dogs? Do you go out and buy hot dogs yourself? No one does that. They have to be there. They have to be they have to present themselves to you, if you're at a fair or something. Do fairs still happen? I don't actually know if fairs are still a thing. Was that just an old-timey thing? Okay, let's say you're at... what's another thing? Six Flags? I don't know. You're at a place, a circus. You got to be at a place where there's, clearly... You've got nothing else to do, and you're walking around, you're looking at all the vendors and stuff like that, and then you see a hot dog stall, right? Or a hot dog vendor. That's the only real way you get to hot dogs, No one's going to hot dog restaurants. Caleb Brown says, hey, Morji Poo, how's my favorite YouTuber doing? I hope you have a great day and night and keep up the great content. That's a very kind comment, although it felt very patronizing. Grizzly Adams says, hey, Mr. Forge, did you see the GOAT Joey Chestnut clutch another championship? I don't know who that is. It sounds like a made-up person. Bobby the Blizzard says, hot dogs are the buggy of foods. That's actually a great way to put it. And you know what? Hold on, let me show you guys something. What chapter is it? Chapter 803? So if you actually look, right? Can I switch this on the fly? Does this work? Can you guys see my screen? You guys can see my screen right now, right? So look at this. So it's funny you say hot dogs are the buggy of food. Or buggies of... Yeah. Right? Because if you actually look at Buggy's setup here, right, this is actually, funnily enough, the exact sort of context in which you would find a hot dog vendor, right? I imagine like somewhere around the corner, it's like a nice big circus setting, the big top and all that stuff. Around the corner, you're going to find someone selling hot dogs. That's a guarantee. But, you know, it's attached to the buggy name, so it kind of gives you an idea of what type of cuisine it is. Also, side note, did you guys see how fast I switched, whatever you call it, displays? Who's impressed by that? I was impressed by that. I didn't know if I could pull it off that smoothly, but now I've got 2 presets. So one is the one you see right now, and the other is the one where you can see my screen. It's actually so professional. Levi K says, "Sup, Morj. Here's some money for more beers. We need more Drunk Morj streams, probably reacting to something." Yeah, we might do Drunk Morj streams depending on how things go. I heard that there might be a Chainsaw Man teaser released today. I found that out right before the stream. It was not planned to coincide with that. So this stream I'm doing earlier just because it's, you know, it is 4th of July, so I didn't want to stream as much in the evening because stuff to do. But, you know, celebration days like this, those are fitting for Drunk Morj streams. Caleb Brown says, "Morj, don't belittle my love for you." All right, I'll try not to. Ivan back from the card shop says, "Missed last stream, but Big Mom definitely 6th man. Took out 2 Toby Ropo, let Marco free, took Beast Pirate Souls, and permanently buffed Nami." She did permanently buff Nami. She did also take out 2 Toby Ropo. I can't give her 6th man, but if there was some award in the NBA, she J.R. Smithed it, basically. Right? She's J.R. Smith in this context. For those of you who don't know, basically what I'm saying is she went hard out of her way to throw for the Beast Pirates. Grizzly Adams says, "Joey Chestnut is the LeBron of hot dog eating." Wow, that's that's impressive, I guess. Tell me who the Michael Jordan of hot dog eating is then. Behanort says, "Thoughts on the KD situation?" I'll keep it short and sweet because nobody cares about basketball here. Thoughts on the KD situation is literally just... I think that what he and Kyrie... I dislike the Nets a lot. I dislike KD and Kyrie quite a bit. I like KD as a personality, I guess, when he's funny on Twitter and stuff, but I hate how he is as a competitor. I think that what they did with the Nets is probably some of the most garbage behavior by players that I've ever seen. I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, players shouldn't have freedom and like agency and stuff like that, but like there's like other people's jobs and shit that are like at stake, and like other people are bending over backwards to do a lot of what you want to do. And then to just not play for so long, when you do play, you play like ass, you get swept in the first round, and then have the balls to demand a trade. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it. My dislike for KD is trumped only by my dislike for Kyrie, because Kyrie I dislike as a competitor and as a personality. And it's to the point where LeBron James is my favorite player. I want to see him win another championship. If Kyrie gets traded to the Lakers, I would legitimately not want the Lakers to succeed anymore, because I dislike him that much. Enough that I'm like, you know what, LeBron's got 4 championships. I don't need to see him win again with Kyrie. Fuck that dude. William Marshall says, "Can you talk about Blackbeard's man's dreams never die moment? I just love Blackbeard's introduction and the way Luffy and Zoro react to Majaya." Blackbeard's introduction is like, I think for me, it's like my favorite villain introduction that I've ever seen in a story, just because it's let's say villain introduction as in like sort of a final villain introduction, okay? Because we don't know Blackbeard's final villain, but you know what I mean. For me, I love it in the context of the arc it's in, because I love the context of the arc it's in is that there's a bit of a triangle going on there, right? So there's 3 pirates that are really important in the bar. I'm ignoring Zoro and Nami for the sake of this discussion. 3 captains, let's say. So it's Luffy, Blackbeard, and Bellamy. So I love the fact that Blackbeard is introduced in the context of Luffy's conflict with Bellamy, because that whole arc is basically, it's setting up the idea that what it takes to get to the top of the pirate world, right? Luffy's telling Bellamy and the Bellamy pirates as he's leaving, they're like, "Where are you going?" And he's pointing up, he's saying the sky, right? But it does mirror quite a lot what Ace's gestured, as he told Luffy one arc back, like, "Meet me at the top," right? So I love the idea that Oda's showing that there's a big difference between pirates like Bellamy, who are small thinkers, right, versus Luffy and Blackbeard, who might seem unassuming and don't go out of their way to act like they're big pirates or anything like that, because they don't need to. Because what they've got that separates them from characters like Bellamy, that's actually going to put them over the top and allow them to keep going and keep getting stronger and keep progressing towards this crazy dream, is the will to believe that they can achieve that dream, right? So to me, that Blackbeard introduction and the way he was introduced as such an unassuming character, but at the same time we could tell that he's got these weird similarities with Luffy. And for Luffy to go all through all that shit, that huge argument in the bar with Bellamy, this guy who can't wrap his mind around the way that Luffy thinks, to have that then reinforced, Luffy's philosophy and mentality be reinforced by Blackbeard, it just feels so, I don't know. I get nostalgic for that scene because it's from such a simpler time, but it establishes such an important foundation for the story that even though Luffy and Blackbeard are opposite ends of the spectrum in many ways, right, they still are both destined to eventually meet at the top of the pirate world because they're both working on the same wavelength of the same philosophy of how they think about dreams, which I think is really beautiful. Man, I miss, I hope that Blackbeard's storyline ends up being just as, you know, I hope the future elements of Blackbeard's storyline are handled with just as much creativity as the initial scenes. Talha Jahan says, thoughts on the most recent Sanji concept art from Road to Laughdale, showing him with a redesigned raid suit of Onigashima. Exoskeleton was a late thought. I'll be honest, I only really skimmed Road to Laughdale, so I don't really remember. Stuff seemed good to me, I guess, overall. Brandon King says, happy 4th Morj. One Piece equals freedom equals America us. America US. I'm not going to say shit because it's just, there's no need for me to share my opinions on America right now, I think. I'll just say I like 4th of July as a holiday. I think it's a great holiday. I think no one should feel any shame in celebrating 4th of July, although if you want to protest it, I understand. But yeah, no broader thoughts. Ignacio Sotelo says, hey Morj, I have a theory on Strahd bounties being a callback to Enies Lobby. The total bounty is the cherry on top. Search for spoilers for chapter 1053, Straw Hats, Nashix. It's the first result. Love to hear your thoughts. Where am I searching? Are you a YouTuber? What are you? I'm probably not going to watch this full thing. I'll watch it later. But I don't really have any thoughts off the top, I think. Because I'm probably not going to watch/read a bunch of stuff right now. I do think that if you're saying it's a callback to Enies Lobby, I wonder if you're saying that the bounties are going to be like the same as Enies Lobby, but just scaled up by 10, because Luffy got 3 billion, he had 300 million after Enies Lobby. So in that case, Zoro gets like 1.2, stuff like that. I haven't hardcore thought through like what I think all the bounties are going to be from here on, but I wouldn't be surprised if Zoro gets like a 1.8 or something like that. I feel like it would be a little weird to me if he got a lower bounty than King, but I mean, then Luffy got a lower bounty than Kaido and Big Mom, so it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Justin Holland says, do you predict a change in the Strahd's routine now that they're an Emperor-class crew? What is the point of the GOAT in the Volume 25 cover? I have no idea what the point of that GOAT was, so I'm not going to say anything on that. But I don't think there's going to be a change in the Strahd routine. I really don't. I think other than them just telling people like, hey, you can put our flag on your island and we'll come help you if you need our help. Same thing. If we need your help, we'll give you a shout. Basically the same deal that he gave the Grand Fleet. I think that that's very likely for the Strahds. But other than that, I like the idea that they go back to sailing, in my opinion. Robel Yusuf says, Morj, what do you think of the fact that certain Strahds, Zoro and Nami, get focused for no reason, whereas Frankie and Brook desperately need focus? I mean, it's not for no reason, because the reality is that there's tiers to how important the Strahds are. Like, the starting 5 in particular are always going to be the true main characters of the series. Luffy's the main character, and his starting squad of Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, right? That's really, those are the core of the crew, right? So they're always going to get more focus. I think I would love to see the other characters get more, like the other Strahds get more focus. It's just that at the end of the day, you can recognize also that, like, okay, the Strahds are the main characters, but there's levels to this. There's main characters within those main characters. I do think it's very disappointing that the, Frankies and Brooks of the world are left to, get the short end of the stick, because I'm of the opinion that Oda shouldn't keep adding more crew members if there's not actually going to be story space to focus on those crew members and at least kind of make them feel like they're close to as important as the main Straw Hats. But, I think he also likes having a big crew dynamic, so it is what it is. Ivan back from the card shop says, we should do top 5 characters that feel fan-inserted. Number 1, Yamato, easily. Literally feels like a movie character as shown with Uda. Yamato is the strangest character I've ever seen in One Piece, by far. Makes no sense to me at the moment. Maybe something crazy will change about her by the end of Wano that'll make me understand, but at the moment I'm just like, Is this character for real? Was she actually like written into the story? Grizzly Adams says, more, do you think there'll be a 4-way Davy backfight between all the new Emperor crews on Elbaf? I think that would be dope. I would love to see that. I've said for a while now that I think they're going to be encountering the Shanks crew in a Davy backfight. If Buggy shows up, like, fully squatted up with, like, a Mihawk and Weevil and stuff like that, then that would be cool to see as well. I don't know how Kid hangs in there at all. I feel like he would just get fucked up. Oh, no, Kid's not a Yonko. Blackbeard Pirates, I don't know if they're going to show up that early or be a threat that early in the story. Just Johan says, do you think Usopp will get a new weapon in Elbaf or something as crazy as his slingshot eating a devil fruit? Call back to his fight in Alabasta. So I saw there's that Ohara video where he's talking about like Usopp getting a giant hammer. I think that'd be pretty cool. Usopp has used hammers for a long time. It would be a nice spin on his, normally using long range weapons and everything like that. I think it'd be pretty cool. I'm also not a big fan of pop greens. Soma Mask says, the GOAT on volume 25 was Oda drawing himself. Maybe. Wisdom and Ari says, Morj, what are we drinking today? This is Lagunitas IPA. I like Lagunitas quite a bit, but my favorite, I think, go-to is usually just loose cannons, but the store near me does not have them, so I'm forced to drink this. Not that I don't like it, but, sometimes you don't get exactly what you want. Atoko Molelwa says, is Michael B. Jordan the next Denzel? What a random question. No. I don't even think he's that good. He's like solid. Actually, I mean, Van Hort says, how would you feel about Im as the final villain? I feel like people assume they'll suck and just be Kaguya, but I still have faith in Oda. I think that Im has potential to be a great villain because Im is being established like way earlier in the story. Like, if you look at Im, right? Im was established in chapter 800 something. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a little... One, it's not comparable to Kaguya already because Kaguya was name-dropped once way late in the series and then suddenly became the villain at the very, very, very home stretch of the story, right? Which is very drastically different. Im is a character that, if we assume One Piece is going to be like 1,200, 1,300 chapters, which I think is very possible... Then Im was basically inserted at about the 2/3, introduced at about the 2/3, arguably even a little, very possibly even a little earlier in the story, right? So around the 60% mark in the story. That's not that bad, right? That's not that bad. And more importantly, everything has built towards a figure like that in that the slow progression of the story, it's all building towards him potentially being that final endgame piece. But it's just foundation on foundation being layered to get to that point because slowly we begin to learn, okay, it seems like the Marines are kind of, not so good. That's what we're learning early on in the story around East Blue as we progress through the Grand Line, right? Then we hit a point where we start to learn a bit more about the world government, the force that's backing the Marines, and we start to realize, okay, there's some things off about the world government. Why are they trying to hide this stuff in Alabasta? Why do they support kings like Wapol, things like that? Then finally, we really learn that the world government, okay, they're really, really bad. We learn the truth about Ohara. We learn about what they want to do with the ancient weapons, hiding the true history, everything like that. So it's slowly building this foundation that, like, okay, something's off about the structure of the world. Okay, the overarching entity seems to be the world government. They seem to be really bad. Okay, wow, they're really, really, really fucking bad. Okay, the Strahds have declared war against the world government. Okay, now we start to learn what really is the world government. Well, it's these celestial dragons that have ruled for 800 years. They're the worst of the worst. They're really, really, really shitty people. And then finally... we learn, okay, who is the head guy among the Celestial Dragons? It's Im. So you could say that Im is being inserted out of nowhere and, like, would be too jarring of a late-game sort of, like, Kaguya-esque villain, but I don't think that's fully fair. I don't even know if Im's going to be the final villain. I just think that if Oda wants to run with Im as the final villain, as long as we get more and more of Im as the story goes along, I think it'll be perfectly fine. Because reality is he's being introduced at around the 60% part of the story. A little bit more, maybe like... 2/3 mark, somewhere between 60%, 2/3 mark of the story. That's not that bad for final villain standards. And two, he's an entity that's arguably been hinted at for a long time, going back to Doflamingo talking post-Marine Ford War, hinting at somebody above, Celestial Dragons or whatever, or, somebody above whoever gave him the order, right? I forget the exact quote. But we got hints. You know, there are hints, and more importantly, it's kind of like the way that Oda slowly unfolded the idea of like who's really running things behind the show, because it was the slow build of world government through celestial dragons, through then finally him, and then, you know, the final stretch of the story maybe has him as the final villain. I don't think that that's that bad. I think it could be really good when all is said and done. Tala Jahan says, now that the Straw Hats are a Yonko crew, will the One Piece world tier the Straw Hats? Will the One Piece world tier the Straw Hats in any way? Essentially, Straw Hats Commanders Davy Back equals tournament arc. Like, will they start referring to certain members of the Straw Hat crew as, like, their commanders, stuff like that? I don't think so. As far as we know, they didn't really do that with the Roger Pirates. Ignatius Satella says, I'm on Reddit. You can skim through most of it. All right, I will at some point. Rorono Azora says, who was the Samurai Crocus chatting with in cover? Yeah, we'll maybe never find out, because maybe it was one of the dropped Wano plot points. Low Life says, who's in who's who, or was... Who is who's who, is that, or was that ever relevant? I don't think it's that relevant at this point, right? Just some CP9 dude. Former CP9. Space Penguin says, personal opinion. Oda's drawing of Edo feels more like a One Piece character than Uta herself. I don't know. Who's Edo? I don't know. Joe Mama says, why didn't he just let Usopp beat page 1? That's literally all that was needed. Yeah, man. Said it went to Big Mom, who did nothing, literally zero good for the Beast Pirate side. She made zero progress, literally just detracted from what they were trying to do. It is what it is. Maybe it's because Oda wanted Usopp to look really, really bad throughout this arc, because he's got to get something really big in Elbaf. So maybe this was kind of like a dump on Usopp arc. There's never really been something like that in the story, which is, again, one of the many reasons that I'm surprised that the arc ended the way it did. But throughout the story, any arc where Usopp's, you know, being made to look particularly pathetic, or getting the short end of the stick over and over, or, you know, clearly going through some clear recurring fear throughout the arc, that's usually something that's going to be dealt with by the end, or some shortcoming of his that he has to overcome by the end of the arc. So there's never been an arc in One Piece where Usopp just plays the coward hardcore from start to finish without ever getting something by the end. So that's why I was partly surprised. Well, that's one of like 40 different reasons, right? But that's a big standout thing to me. I was like, fuck, so Usopp really this was just an arc where he just sucked the entire time. Maybe that's because this is the first time, like, we're setting up for Elbaf, so this might be the first time that Oda's just like, okay, Usopp's just going to be ass for 140 chapters straight, and then next arc he's going to get something really big to make up for it. So, you know, you can obviously change that. Heroic Spirit Frehain says, can we get a power scaling stream? Yeah, at some point. Probably at some point. At this point, we kind of could, because most of the Wano battles wrapped, right? Let's let Wano itself wrap up. And then I think we can do maybe something like that. That'll be fun. Reverse says, do you still think Usopp might get imprisoned or put in a position to be a traitor? I no longer think that. I think if it were to happen, it would have made the most sense in the Wano arc, where contextually that's like most cleanly, coherently tied to what his building storyline seemed to be throughout the arc. I think if you do it in an arc that's a couple arcs later or something like that, I mean, unless Oda keeps playing that up as a fear of his, but this really felt like the perfect setup for him to go through something like that. Steals Your Skills Tio says, no power scaling, thanks. That's the thing about power scaling streams. Some people really dislike them. So it's like, fuck. Don't want to alienate a bunch of people. It's kind of like if I talk basketball, it's like too many people. That's why I'm ignoring these KD comments right now. Like, I can't talk about KD. Most people don't even know what KD is. They think it's just kid, but misspelled. The Snake says, Zoro will never have a 3 billion bounty. I think Zoro's final bounty might be 3 bill. Because if we think Luffy's final bounty is like 5.6 or something like that, then Zoro getting 3 bill I think seems about right. Because Zoro's bounty is usually somewhere... Actually, there's no real pattern to it, right? There's no real pattern to his bounty compared to Luffy's bounty. Bunfagum says, Morj, what do you think about Star Wars The Clone Wars? The only canon Star Wars material is the first 3 original trilogy, and then anything after that is some weird fan fiction. Talha Jahan says, favorite to least favorite Straw Hats. Also take some shots. I'm not taking shots right now. It's like midday for me. Favorite to least favorite Straw Hats? You know what? I'm not going to tell you guys right now. I've been hiding who my favorite Straw Hat is. I think I'm going to do a stream at some point. I'm going to do a stream at some point where I let you guys try and guess. It'll be part of a stream. It won't be a full stream dedicated to it. But it'll be part of a stream at some point where you all can guess what my Straw Hats rankings are. And we'll see how close you all can get it. Hawk says, what was Rayleigh's bounty? That's what I think Zoro's bounty will be around. Yeah, Oda's just going to hide some bounties. Otherwise, we'll never really... what do you call it? Otherwise, we'll never really... Like, we'll have too clear of a... We won't have that sort of suspense, you know, leading towards certain things, right? Like Zoro's final bounty. Fry says, Yamato least favorite easy. I'm not even going to think about Yamato being a stride. I don't believe it. Lee J Animation says, you said Usopp was in the top a couple streams ago. Usopp is never my favorite Straw Hat, but he's my favorite... How do I say this? I'm never going to put Usopp as my favorite Straw Hat overall, is what I mean, but there are moments where he's the most... Clearly the best written Straw Hat, right? The best writing moments usually go to Usopp over time. So the moments where Usopp is great are my favorite Straw Hat moments in the series for the most part, if that makes sense. Bunfagum says Morj slow mode. Is it in slow mode? It's not supposed to be in slow mode. I'm going to turn off slow mode. We don't have that many people right now. Caleb Brown says, Morj, we know your favorite Straw Hat is Yamato. Tala Jahan says, you already told us your favorite is Zoro. Join Team Sanji. I didn't say nothing. Leave me alone. Bobby the Blizzard says it's Nami, isn't it? Nami will always be like top 4 for me. I think Nami will always be like top 3 or 4 for me. Well, let's see if there's some bots. I don't think there's any bots. I think we'll be fine. Hawk says 765 people is that many. I feel like slow mode makes sense once we hit over 1K. You know what? Everybody liked the stream. I want to see some people liking the stream. Let's get it over 1K so that we can bring slow mode back, right? Who likes slow mode? I don't really care. I feel like some people love slow mode. I feel like the mods love slow mode, and then everyone else hates it. So it's very polarizing. Justin Holland says, I hope we see Smoker again. What groups do you think await Joy Boy's return? Will Straw Hat ships and equipment get the Wano grade upgrade? Okay, in order. I also hope we see Smoker again. What groups I think await Joy Boy's return? I think a lot of different groups could be awaiting something, but not necessarily in the same language. So, for example, the Giants, we know, they talk a lot about the sun, the solstice, I'm pretty sure, quotes like that. Like, they also have something along those lines. So they seem to have some sort of their own, I don't want to say religion or anything like that, but their own belief system or, you know, ideas that probably also likely tie back to the idea of the dawn. So if I were to just go through, I think there's probably a lot of nations, Zoe, obviously, Wano, Elbaf. I think a lot, like maybe even Fishman Island. I think a lot of nations have stuff like that built into their culture, like Fishman Island stressing the importance of the sun. But that's not going to be as locked into the idea of like Joy Boy, the singular figure that needs to return. Because I think a lot of the different cultures in the One Piece world probably have the same goals or beliefs that have just been passed down over time for so long that the idea has changed, but the core concept has always remained the same. Kushin Mukherjee says, who wins, Johnny Yosaku versus Hoikel and Michael? Okay, I think Johnny and Yosaku could take it. Because I think Johnny and Yosaku are low-key not that weak. All right? They just get matched up against superhuman characters. Tala John says, Morb does professional level analysis on the show. Just to favorite the badass cool sword dude number 72 of anime. How about fave antagonist? This is why I don't tell people what characters I like, because then they say shit like that. How about my favorite antagonist? Favorite antagonist in One Piece or favorite antagonist in general? My favorite antagonist in general, probably. All right, let's work backwards. Favorite antagonist in One Piece is. No, let's do general first. General first. I think Griffith is my favorite antagonist in general in manga. Favorite antagonist in general is probably Griffith. Makima is a close second. First in some ways. Griffith is better written overall, obviously. But Makima is just a very, how do I say this? Without sounding like a giant simp. Makima is just, I guess, like, such a eerie, mysterious presence throughout the series that I think that she was a large part of what made all of Chainsaw Man really, really interesting, particularly the last 40%. So I think just as a singular character, she was a huge draw for that series. And I think she commanded like a lot of the interest and focus basically of Chainsaw Man down the stretch. So I think Makima is actually a really, really great villain. Even without, let's say, necessarily the deepest writing, sometimes it's not like how deeply fleshed out or how many dimensions a character necessarily has. It can more so just be, how much interest do they demand from the reader, I guess, or how much interest do they generate in the series, or what a concept that they might be, right? So in One Piece, I would say my favorite villain was Kaido, no longer. Largely because it just feels as though we never got to really delve into most of what seemed to be the most interesting parts about Kaido. I'd say Blackbeard, Akainu. Out of arc villains, I'd say Crocodile's still my favorite arc villain. Yeah, let's say Blackbeard, Akainu. I think that's about right. Blackbeard's a great character, obviously. Atoko Malewa says you should read Vagabond. I just have trouble starting a series where I don't feel like I'm ever going to get to see the finish of it, Kurakami Najima says Aizen is probably always going to be my favorite villain. This is a great comparison, okay? So I compare Aizen to Makima. I feel like there's a lot of similarities there. A lot of similarities there in the sense that Aizen, maybe we don't learn the most about his character. Maybe we don't get as fleshed out of the concept of who he really is. The writing around him maybe isn't the deepest. But sometimes it's just how exciting a character is. How exciting is this antagonist in the story? How exciting is their presence? What does it feel like when they're on screen? How much interest or mystery or sense of anticipation, apprehension do they build up? How much of a presence or force is an antagonist in a story? And characters like Aizen, like Makima, they fall in a certain category where it's like they don't need to be that deeply written or that fleshed out. They do their job, right? They do what you really want a great villain to feel like, right? That sentence didn't make any sense, but you guys know what I mean. They are what you want a great villain to feel like. They bring that sort of presence to the story. Captain Budak says, do you think Luffy will 1v1 Green Bull just like Kuzan? I don't even know. It's hard to say with Luffy what they're going to do. Like, if Green Bull thinks he can waltz in there and fuck shit up, he's, I think, going to have a rude awakening. I just don't think Oda would do a brand new Admiral like that. So, it's real, like, chapter 754, I'm looking forward to it not just because, we're on a month-long break from One Piece. I'm looking forward to it just because I have no idea how the fuck Oda's going to resolve this situation because it's a tricky situation. Nerve AMV Maker says, with Gear 50, you think Luffy and Zoro dynamic is over, or will Oda find some ways to make it believable again? I think Oda can easily find some ways to make it believable again if he chooses. Because, like, the thing is, like, Oda can just make some, like, how do I say this? So Zoro, he showed us Ashura, which seemed pretty effective against Kaido in the one moment that he used it. Then he got Advanced Conqueror's Haki, which is good, but still nowhere close to Luffy, right? But next arc, if Oda wants to, he could just be like, okay, well now Zoro can use Ashura 24/7, and Ashura's really fucking strong, right? Because Zoro mastered Advanced Conqueror's Haki, therefore he's able to use Ashura on command, and Ashura's stronger now. Like, Oda's got some flexibility there because I think the biggest thing, I've always said this, the hardest character of the monster trio to power scale is usually Zoro because Oda tends to hide a lot of what Zoro can do in the moment. I think that really is the case since Ashura, but it was also the case for a lot of the New World, in that Oda kind of had Zoro on this run of just low diffing opponents after opponents. But in general, as long as Ashura is a thing, Oda's got some wiggle room to play with in terms of how strong Zoro fully is if he's using that ability, because we've seen so little of it, right? So I'm not going to be like, oh, Zoro could beat Luffy, or Zoro's like equal to Luffy with Ashura or anything. But in terms of how close or how far away you think he is, I think most of that depends on how strong Oda chooses to write Ashura to be, because so far he's really, really held that close to his chest. And then like the one time we saw it in the New World, it was a super effective attack. And Zoro got stronger since then too. So it'll be interesting to see next time he pulls it out. I think it's really interesting Oda did not have Zoro pull out Ashura against King, because that kind of leaves that unanswered in terms of like, okay, how strong is Zoro when he uses that? Tala Jahan says, if I get Yamato removed from the crew, can I mod? If you can get Yamato removed from the crew, I will pay you $600. $6,000. Name your price, I'll do it. Sean Easton says, if you could choose a movie genre for JoJo's part, small town serial killer, Western race, and an ability for the theme of the part, what would you choose? Also, those who bang speed IRL is less than 0.001%. I think you'd be surprised, Sean Easton. Okay, if I could choose a movie genre for JoJo's part, I might pick horror. I'd pick horror because I would love to see what Araki's crazy fucked up mind could pick for horror. And an ability for the theme of the part, I'm not going to pick that. I'm not going to pick that just because there actually is, I think, from parts 4 through, I want to say particularly, okay, I'd say it started really developing part 5, but part 5 through 8, Araki's been going back to the same theme over and over. So that I've kind of viewed that as basically the defining theme of JoJo's, which I probably want to do a video on at some point. And he's just done different takes on it in each part. But it's still one defining central theme. So I don't really want to add something new to that, but I would just love to see how he incorporates what his ideas are into a horror setting. Bobby the Blizzard says, Musashi from Vagabond is the best written in manga. Yeah, well, we'll never see the end of it, so who's to say? DR says, your favorite stride is obviously Jinbei, just like most other fans. Also, why the early stream? Early stream is because it's 4th of July. 4th of July, which means it's a holiday over here, which means I don't want to be streaming in the evening. Not that I don't enjoy streaming, but I enjoy other... Yeah, let's just say I enjoy other... fuck. A little fucked up now. Not that I don't enjoy streaming, but I do enjoy other things more, if that makes sense. Big News Morgan says, how do you rank Supernova's top 5 strongest? Easy. Luffy, Zoro, Kid, Law, Killer. That's it. If I hear some people arguing Kid and Law are stronger than Zoro, then I'm ending stream. It's an insane take. Grizzly Adams says, people say wait for the Rock's flashback to learn more about Kaido. But what about the third? I could see Kid being stronger than Zoro, but Law is not stronger than Zoro. Law is like, I have a feeling Law barely knows what Haki is. I don't know if he's figured that one out yet. I feel like he kind of knows Haki, but he's like a day one baby user. Like, every instance we've seen of Law using Haki, it's like the most basic shit. And reminder, all of Law's feats, 100% from start to finish, against Big Mom, were sneak attacks. I don't want any evidence of Law's feats against Big Mom being used to argue in favor of Law in a 1v1, because that's insane. That'd be like me saying, oh yeah, because Nami can, she's super effective if she can, like, attack people from behind with fucking Zeus. That doesn't mean she'll win a 1v1. These are two separate things. Grizzly Adams says, people say wait for the Rock's flashback to learn more about Kaido. But what about the 38 years Kaido lived after Rock's defeat? Yeah, man. I feel you. Ignacio Sotelo says, I think Boa is getting captured. I kind of agree, but not by a normal Marine faction, by Sword, who will hide her past, otherwise it's back to the Tenryubidos. It's the only way Kobe ascends the ranks and Boa is safe. I don't know how important Kobe ascending the ranks is in the main story of One Piece. I've always felt that him becoming an admiral is something that happens like 5 years down the road in an epilogue, so I'm going to hold off my thoughts on that. But I do wonder, Boa getting captured, if Oda is setting up overall just like a very large incentive for Luffy to go against the world government, so maybe Sabo and Boa and Vivi being captured. I don't know. That one quote Oda dropped is just kind of ominous. Justin Holland says, will Akainu be given free reign to her To her and pirates personally? I don't even know what this means. Now that Luffy is a Yonko, you forgot my third question of my last post. Will Akainu be given free reign to hurt pirates personally now that Luffy is a Yonko? I don't even know what this means. Doesn't he already have free reign to do that? I feel like he already has free reign to do that. Rafi says Morj is such a law hater. Shake my head. No, I'm just not blind. I'm just not blind. People think law is so strong. But if you go back and read the pages, he doesn't do anything when it's up front, face to face. Everything he does, it always has to be via distraction or some other shit. If you see Law, mostly he's just running around like some normal dude that's got like a broke-ass ability, but he always needs somebody else to give him the openings to use that ability. 1v1, just look at what happened against him, against Doflamingo. 1v1, just look at Law versus Doflamingo. Because 1v1, he's not fast, he doesn't have good observation hockey, he does not have good armament hockey, he's not even a fucking Conqueror's hockey user, he's just a dude with a good-ass ability. That's it. Law gets way too much credit. It's actually, like, I'm like, where are you guys pulling this shit from? Find me a good 1v1 example of Law doing some shit 1v1. It doesn't exist in the story. You have to go back to fucking Punk Hazard where he beats up Virgo. Fares Whoopshit, he's the GOAT assist guy. GOAT assist guy and GOAT team player. GOAT team player. But he's not a good 1v1 fighter. It's just a fact. It's in the story. H-Top Samurai says, Law literally tanks Yonko punches. Shake my head. Good job. He's a tank. What you want a cookie for that? What do we do with that information? He can tank some Yonko hits. Let's definitely say that. Let's see him do something. Let me see him like land a hit that doesn't involve him waiting on somebody else to get the attention and then sneaking in from behind. Let's see him land a hit like that first. That's all I'm saying. AJK says, Law, look at Morj smirking. He's clearly knows what he's doing. He's trolling us, y'all. I'd say it's a 50-50 split. Captain Badak says, Law solos One Piece verse easy. Hashtag low diff. I'll say this. If Law was a barely competent hockey user, then fuck yeah, he'd solo the entire One Piece verse. I mean, his ability is so ridiculously broken. If only he didn't have the hockey capabilities of a toddler, imagine how broken he'd be. I mean, that is one busted ability. If he ever learns to actually fight, the whole One Piece world is fucked. I'll say that. Luz Vasquez says, favorite Berserk arc and why? I like Conviction arc best just because, for me, I think Golden Age is the best written by far. It's not particularly close. But I think Conviction is my personal favorite just because it combines a lot of, I'd say, like, my shonen preferences, I guess, in terms of it's the only arc that's kind of framed like a shonen-y arc, but just in the Berserk world with the Berserk tone, vibe, themes, writing, things like that. So I just enjoyed seeing, I guess, a shonen-style story play out in Berserk style, if that makes sense. Like that blend. Silva Mask says, Law will betray the Straw Hats. Why or why not? Law's not going to betray the Straw Hats. That's not happening. Why or why not? It's just, it goes against everything that was established over the course of Punk Hazard through Dressrosa, like what it was trying to tell us about Law's character. The one true edgelord says, just came in. What is the stream about? It's about, I think, America. I think we're protesting America or something like that. Are we protesting America or are we for America? It's something America related. Talha Jahan says, Law and Kid versus Sanji and Zoro. I think Law and Kid just because Law's abilities make him such a good team player. So, like, individually, Sanji's fucking up Law, Zoro's fucking up Law. But Law's abilities in a team setting are so good, you gotta give it to Law. Wait, what? Did I promise you guys a Bollywood dance at some point, says AJK? He's bringing up something that I don't really recall. All right, when I come back, Bollywood dance. Give me a lot of protesting. Okay, That's cool. We can do however we want to do it. We're protesting America. That's fine. But it is a July 4th stream. All right, Bollywood dance when I get back. Bruh says shout to the chair. So this isn't like the old days where you guys could make fun of my chair while I'm gone. Back in the day, as soon as I would get up for like 30 seconds, everyone would make fun of my chair. You guys can't do that now because now I have a respectable chair. Reverse says he isn't coming back, is he? I'm not your father. I will return. Bolly dance. Let's get the likes up. Then we can discuss some Bollywood dancing. Let's get to 500 likes. I feel like that's very doable. Everybody like the stream. Let's all like the stream. I'll even go like the stream. Is it automatically liked by me? No. I'll like the stream. All right, I got us to 394. Let's see if we can get it all the way to 500. Bruh says we want your chair. You can buy it. This chair is actually, I didn't build it from scratch. You can purchase this chair. I don't remember where from though. Jose Lari says chair Sama. I'm actually, people who don't know, that's a Bleach reference. I'm actually excited for Bleach's return because supposedly it's filling out some stuff that, word of God, Kubo is saying it's going to fill out some stuff that the manga couldn't get to. I'm Bored One says Dofi is my favorite villain in One Piece, but Dressrosa to me was probably one of the most underwhelming arcs. Dofi being hyped up to be this mastermind, bringing up a new era, ended up getting screwed by law. Doflamingo was always a complicated character just because it was hard to place. I mean, I've said this before, but pre-Dressrosa, Doflamingo seemed like a guy without a care in the world who was kind of a really chaotic agent, you know, kind of like the Joker that we know of in, you know, more mainstream fiction, right? The Batman type Joker, right? That's who Doflamingo seemed like. Then when we get to Dressrosa, he's kind of an uptight dude. He's a very uptight dude. He's very much a control freak. He needs everything to go according to his plan. He's all about like controlling everyone, keeping things stable, keeping his business going, things like that. So Law coming in and screwing his shit up, that had him basically in a bit of a pickle right off the bat. So he was sweating. He was worried from the very get-go in Dressrosa. So it wasn't, I think, necessarily the Doflamingo that we expected, but he turned out to be an interesting character regardless. Fusion XD says, Big Mom back for real, Elbaf. Luffy beats her at the start, close the loop on the rivalry, win, favor, / alliance with Giants in the final war, and Big Mom awakening. I'm curious, because this goes to the video that comes out tomorrow. Is Big Mom coming back? I think most people are like, yeah, Kaido's done. I also think Kaido's done. But is Big Mom coming back? That's like a big question. And by coming back, I mean coming back as a villain, not just the general concept of coming back. You know what I mean? So let's say coming back as a villain. Oh, Phantom Greyfire says, Miss Super from Captain Budak. True America equals true freedom equals Joy Boy. I think I talked about that one. My thoughts are, okay. I love America in certain ways. I grew up in this country. Is Big Mom coming back as a villain? Yes, no. Okay, that's actually an interesting split. I would have thought more people were under the impression she was just done for, but I guess it's an even 50-50. So a lot of people think that she's coming back. I don't know. I would personally not love it if she's back, but I'm kind of done with her. But, you know, like, I, for one, personally do believe that her and Luffy's storyline should have closed, but I think dragging that out for another arc would be a bit much, in my opinion. I was always hoping that she'd be resolved in this arc at Luffy's hands, but, you know, it is what it is. Whirlwind says, OMG, not the America propaganda. No, I'm just saying. I grew up in this country. I appreciate the life that I've gotten to grow up with in this country and the life that I have now. That's all I've got to say. That doesn't mean that I approve of the way things are going in a broader sense. All right. So when this is a 4th of July stream, again, this is like the 5th time I'm having to make this clear. It's mostly celebrating the holiday. Because this is a good holiday. This is a good one. I like this holiday that we thought up of. It's a fuck around holiday. Mina says, I picture Big Mom and Kaido following the straw. It's like Team Rocket follows Ash. Yeah, except imagine if Team Rocket was actually like the most powerful beings in the entire Pokemon world. And their Pokemon are all like, I don't know, what's strong? Rayquazas and shit. Fry says capitalist propaganda. Yeah, I would agree 4th of July is some capitalist propaganda. But shout out to some capitalist propaganda in that case. Am I right? You know, in some cases, it's a good thing. In some cases, we get some dope holidays. You know, I love when people are like, oh, that's a fucking Hallmark holiday. I'm like, good. Good on Hallmark. Getting us some vacation time, getting us some time to chill. MZ says, imagine people living in Earth, US, but talking mess about it. You know what I realized? I think that the way Americans are is very similar to, the way Americans are is very similar, just reading the comments. Americans are very similar to One Piece fans, right? I feel like hardcore Americans view America the same way One Piece fans view One Piece, right? Which is like, you know, the way we are with Wano right now, which is like, or at least a large portion of the community is with Wano right now. It's like, yeah, you know what? There's some bad stuff, but we could overlook that because fuck it, it's One Piece. Like, this arc was dope or whatever, right? Like, so with America, it's like, yeah, we got some high highs and some low lows, but overall, like, USA, 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 right? It's like the same thing. You kind of like, you know, once you're bought into One Piece, or if you're an American that's like a hardcore American, you're kind of like, yeah, there's some bad shit, but fuck it, it's the US. Same way with One Piece right now. We're just like, a lot of people are just like, yeah, Wano, you know, this didn't happen and that didn't happen. And there was no dramatic tension. And, like, no real character focus. And, like, there was no real midpoint to the arc. And, like, I could go on and on. But at the end of the day, what about the roof? What about the rooftop, huh? Oh, and Gear 5th. Don't forget about that. You know what? One Piece. One Piece. Goda. And that's kind of just how most One Piece fans are going to roll from here on out. Chino Wong says, Morj drunk patriotic. I don't even know if that's patriotic. Because I don't know if I'm saying a good thing or a bad thing there. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Drunk Morj just remembered. I'm supposed to... Hold on. I'm supposed to All right. Everybody look at the pinned comment. All right. If you enjoy the streams, particularly with this stream, because I know a lot of people, just because it's a different time than usual, are not going to be able to check out this full stream because I'm doing it earlier than normal, so I have my evening free. If you do not get to watch much of this stream, have no fear. There is a place made just for you, a channel that collects all of the best juicy bits from the streams and condenses them into some sort of a highlight form. So you can just skip all the boring stuff, like when I went to the bathroom and you had to look at my chair for a while, and instead get to the good stuff, which is, I don't know, there was probably something good that happened this stream. So check out that channel. It's Morj Unleashed. Highlights every week from the streams. So check that shit out. Oh, I forgot about the Bollywood dance. That'll happen another time. Karan Shrivasta says, finally made it. Hello, Morj. Would Luffy survive in modern day America? How quickly before the IRS gets him since Chopper ain't there to fix his taxes? Luffy would be absolutely homeless in modern day America. Absolutely homeless. I think Luffy is not a person that's built to survive in, actual real person society. That's just not the way that he's built. Luffy is actually probably only, if you remember, he made this very clear to Arlong, which was he can't lie, he can't cook, he can't, navigate. He can pretty much only fight people. Luffy could be a boxer. I feel like Luffy would make for a great boxer. If Luffy can make a career as a boxer, I think he can roll. But aside from that, he's not going to live in the real world, Whirlwind says, can confirm the stream highlights are great. Excellent. My paid mole has made a statement that'll push everybody to go to the stream highlights channel. Zale says, what part of India are you from? I was born in Delhi. Delhi's usually where I visit anytime I go back to India. But I moved here when I was almost 2 years old. So I don't really act like I was raised in India or anything like that. I was raised here. Lucy B says, wouldn't Luffy be a firefighter? Did Oda say that as what would their actual real world professions be? Luffy being a firefighter, I just don't think he would do, I don't think Luffy'd be a good firefighter. Here's my simple proof. Because it's actually proven in the manga he'd be a bad firefighter. Let's see. Where we at? Where are we at? Hold on. Look at this. All right. So, if you look right here, this is what Luffy's one attempt at cooking, right? So Luffy tries to cook, and then this happens, and he says, I forgot to turn off the stove. So I think they had to wait for rain to put it out. So I don't really know if Luffy would be, the best firefighter per se. I feel like Luffy in the real world, he's got to be a boxer. He's kind of done for. You know what I mean? He's kind of just got to be a boxer. There's not really anything else for him. Zoro says. Zoro says. You guys making fun of the way I read out supers? Sadma Seek says firefighter equals beats Akainu. True. You can get some revenge. AJK says, Morj, why didn't you read the theory we super chatted you about the opening of Wano's borders? Because I don't remember to read things. Can you just type it again here? Okay, theory for... All right. Let's look. I'm also not in a reading mood. This is the theory about bounties. Okay. Let me skim this one, since I'm supposed to be reading things right now. The bounties for the... Wait. Let's also... Pro streamer stuff right here. Let's also share it with the chat so everyone can see. Let me switch my display. All right, the bounties for the Strats. This is by Nashixt. It says the bounties for the Strats and Wano are a callback to the Enies Lobbies ones. The Enies Lobby ones. Since that was the first and only arc, all the Strats got bounties at the same time, and all of them were involved in the events that transpired. Luffy, 300 million. So, this is what I thought it would be. You're just saying that they're just multiplying it by 10. I could have come up with this. All right. New bounty equals... Oh, this one doesn't make sense. God Usopp, 200 million. New bounty, 500 million. Oh, asterisk. His case is special. I think his bounty in Dressrosa is coming true. But he might get the participation fee. I can't read all this right now. But you guys can read it, right? You guys can see the screen because I shared it with you. Because I'm a pro streamer. So you guys can read it for me. Okay. New bounty for... Alright. So this all makes sense. Brook. Boo equals 2. Ah, shit. Alright, I'm getting a Japanese lesson here. Okay. So Boo equals 2. I thought in Japanese 2 was ni. Like Nitoryu. Or like Nigiri. Or like, you know what I mean. Those stuff. Ru equals Ro equals Roku equals 6. I knew that one. Ku equals 9. I knew this one. This is the new one. I didn't know this one. We get 269 million. Using Brook's epithet. Oh, God. This is a lot of Japanese. All right. So equals san equals 3. What? So equals san? Can you just say that? Why does so equal san? Am I missing the equation here? This is like a math problem and having to learn Japanese at the same time. So this is two of my least favorite school subjects happening simultaneously. Okay, so equals san. I don't know why, but it just does. So equals san equals 3. I get san equals 3. I don't get so equals san. It doesn't make sense to me. Ki equals Kyu equals 9. It seems iffy to me, but we'll let it slide. Ru equals Roku equals 6. This just seems like you're freewheeling. You're just saying whatever now. Ru equals Roku. All right. N equals... Aha! I caught him. All right. The whole theory's bunk. All right. N equals Ni equals 2. Wait, can you guys even see my screen? Or am I just talking to myself? Okay, no, you guys can see my screen. N equals Ni equals 2. I knew it. Ni is 2. Look at this. All right. We caught him in the act, boys. All right. Here he says Boo equals 2. Nah. N equals Ni equals 2. We're going to ignore this part about N equals Ni. This is already kind of suspect. But this part, this is a dead giveaway. Ni equals 2. I thought Boo equals 2. All right, checkmate. And the final answer, which we now know is false. It's gaslighting or something like that. We get 369,250,000. New bounty, 269 million. First, I give up. This is too much. I give up. B equals he equals ha equals Hachi. What the? I'm done. This is too difficult. You win. Your theory defeated me. I couldn't follow it. It was too difficult. All right. Does anyone who speaks Japanese, did it make sense? Fry says, yeah, trash theory. No, I think I just couldn't follow it. I'm sure the theory itself was sound. Okay, Phantom Greyfire is making me read another theory. Wano border theory from last week. Is this the one that AJK got mad at me for not reading? Is it the same thing? Let's see, because AJK is also making me read something. I hope it's the same thing. Oh my god. Guys, this is like... Okay, I gotta share it with the people. Alright. Quick swap. Now you guys can see stuff. Alright, look at this. What is this is so long. It never ends. It's infinite. Is this a One Piece data book? What am I looking at? This is like if you stacked up all the Vivre card information together. Okay, we made it to the end. Ending in the comment section, make sure to read it. Okay. Alright, so everything falls into place. This is... It's infinite. Okay. Alright. The answer is we can't read that. I literally physically can't read that right now. I can barely read the comments you guys are typing out at the moment. But I will read that later because it actually seems really interesting. I lied. It just seems long and comprehensive, so I assume that there's some good information there. And I saw it has a lot of upvotes, so probably means something. I believe it's a good theory. Got a lot of upvotes, and usually something that long and comprehensive has some significant value. But at the moment, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. All right, where are we at? Chris Indovino says, another YouTube channel did a poll. What's better, Wano or Water7/Any Slobby? And Wano won with over 60% votes, over 11k votes. Don't be bothered by what the fan base says, lol. I mean, there's crazy people everywhere. Oscar Cruz says, any plans to do more analysis videos of One Piece in the vein of philosophy of One Piece or politics of One Piece? Love those videos and would love to see more. Thanks for all the quality content. Anytime I do a long analysis video, it's just a huge time commitment. It's like a very big time commitment, so it's like, yeah, maybe. I have to really feel motivated to do it. So, I mean, the next one I do will have to be on Wano, just because Wano's ending, so you got to do one on Wano. But if for a broader concept like that, I'd have to really feel in the mood. Maybe I'll do one later this year. Daniel Dorner says, I'm not crazy. I know Oda nerfed those numbers. I knew it since 989, one after 988. As if Frankie could ever take one down, never. I don't even understand what this comment is. I don't get it. Zoro says, do you think Buggy being Emperor in the same panel as Luffy finally becomes one undermines Luffy's achievement? Yonko hype is not there for me now. I mean, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but for me personally, the moment that Luffy finally became a Yonko, which was something that I'd been looking forward to ever since we found out the title Yonko existed, right? So hundreds and hundreds of chapters of build up to Luffy finally getting to join that group of Yonko. I would personally have not, if Oda wanted to make Buggy a Yonko, I would have preferred it to not coincide with Luffy finally becoming Yonko. Just because for me personally, it's like the moment that I was really waiting for, which is like this title that carries so much weight and so much, just so much hype, for lack of a better word, over the course of the One Piece story. And like this milestone that feels like it means so much and is so sacred, which is just being a Yonko. I would have loved if Oda had waited a little bit longer before turning that into a gag, pretty much. So that, like, we get an actual sort of, like, Luffy joining the Yonko and feeling like it's an actual set of Yonko. And then we get, the full enjoyment of Luffy having finally achieved that. And then maybe after that, a little bit later in the story, then if Oda wants to be like, okay, now we can kind of treat the Yonko title as a bit of a joke and now Buggy's in there and stuff. For me personally, it's just not as exciting seeing Luffy, like, a Yonko when Buggy's also a Yonko. And, I get it's a gag and everything. I'm just saying that, like, my personal excitement, my hype towards Luffy finally being a Yonko and what that really means, my excitement for that, I think I valued that more in this case than the gag of Buggy also being a Yonko. So, it's a trade-off. Tala Jahan says, Wait. Scroll too fast. Supreme Pirate King says, love y'all making Morj earn his AR points. What's AR? Yamaki Guerra says, could a ship eat a devil fruit and what would happen if it could? Could a ship eat a devil fruit? What would happen if it could? It would be really cool to see the Sunny eat a devil fruit. I think that would be amazing. But would it sink? That's the question. I feel like it might sink. Might not be able to move. But no, yeah, it should sink, right? It should become a hammer. Ben says, hey Morj, can you slam down that juicy IPA for me? I'm still going to take it a little slow because I'm struggling with the stream as is. This is my second, so let's see. I was planning to drink 2 over the course of the stream, but I'm having to slow down a little bit. Ignacio Sotelo says, God damn, I use this table for the Japanese things. I just read the ending of the Straw Hat Bounty Theory, man. Okay, where was it? Fuck. The ending. Wisdom Minari says we getting loud today. No, I'm just gonna drink. It's a drinking day. All right, let's see. Let me pull up that theory. All right, so you said at the end of this theory, here's what you said at the end. You said the sum of the Straw bounties will be 8.88. Okay, in any lobby, the sum of all Straw bounties was 667 million point and 50 cents, which is 666 plus 1, so it's 1 above the devil. But this time, the sum of all the Straw bounties would be 8.888 million berries. And 8888 is a slang expressing for hand clapping. So Strats are clapping at the end of Act 3, the end of Wano, and the end of the Yonko saga. Okay, I could see that. I just don't know how much to read into that number stuff. So I'll say I can see it. I just don't get it fully. but I can kind of see it. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Harish Rajmohan says, thoughts on KD trade request. There's been a lot of people interested in that. I'll just say my thoughts on the KD trade request are, I mean, I said this earlier in the stream, but no respect for him as a competitor. It's just like pushing the boundaries of like ring chase. Like, come on, man. Like, you built this whole situation for yourself, even though everyone said it was a shitty idea, right? But you built this whole situation for yourself. You literally had a super team like a year ago, right? And then you jerked this whole organization along, right? Which is not just rich owners, but like lots of people within that organization that are getting jerked along as well. And then you just demand a trade the moment the Warriors win because you're just, I don't know, like, you like, well, now I got to win another ring or whatever. It's just, it's kind of pathetic. Zoro says, your hobbies aside from movies, manga, books, anime. I mean, the hobbies depends what you want to say hobbies are. Like, because when I'm not working or doing work type stuff or like social stuff, for me, it's basically like I'll just watch or read things. So those aren't hobbies, obviously. Video games wise, I'm not a huge gamer. I like playing Melee on and off. Yeah, besides that, I don't have a lot of hobbies. Anna Baba says Morj needs AA. This is one stream. Let me have one stream on 4th of July. On a 4th of July afternoon. Let me have one stream. You know what? Fuck you. I'm getting another as soon as this is over. Listerine Mouthwash says, don't stir drama, Chin lol. That means I have to look at what Chin said previously. Shin Ho Wong says, Morj, stop ignoring Parvision. Okay, now I gotta see what Parvision is saying. What's Parvision saying? I got a video answering the question if a ship ate a devil fruit in my video. HD. Of course I'm going to ignore Parvision. He's trying to link you all to some other video. No. Everybody ignore Parvision. We're not going to see that video, all right? Go watch that video after this stream. Nice try, Parvision. But I don't know. I can't think of a comment right now. In fact, I'm ignoring Parvision for the rest of this stream. Parvision says LMFAO. He says no. He says that wasn't it. Nice try. We're already on to you. Ignored for the rest of this stream. Fry says Toki swimsuit theory, LMAO. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Parvision says he meant the comment before about me fighting you at the Reverie. We're fighting at the Reverie. I don't know if this is an in-person thing. Let's see. We'll fight at the Reverie, though. You just got invited. You just got invited and you want to fight people already? You just got invited. You just got added to the group chat. You're already in the mood to fight people? I have no idea how I'm doing a pre-Reverie stream. I'll announce this right now. I'm definitely doing a pre-Reverie stream Friday. I think the Reverie is this Friday. Parvision, is the Reverie this Friday? It's Friday, I'm assuming, so I'm going to do it right before. That's what a pre-Reverie stream means. You can kind of just sound it out and it makes sense. So I'll do a pre-Reverie stream, and I might drink for that. I don't know. I don't want to go into the Reverie fucked up, but I feel like it's also going to be a rough time for me regardless. So maybe I have to drink a little bit beforehand. Dayday6192000 says, do you read MH My Hero? If so, what are your thoughts? My Hero, I mean, I liked what I had seen in /Reddit up till... I think I'm caught up to the anime. Unless there's been a new season out already. Okay, so it's at 3 p.m. EST this Friday. So I'll probably do a pre-Reverie stream at like 1 p.m. EST on Friday. So you guys can hang out in my stream before that one starts. Oh, TCB's here? What's up, man? Bruh says Morj versus Liam. Liam W. Sad Goomba says Reverie will be tense. I will leave the Reverie right away if I'm feeling uncomfortable. So we'll just see. Who's hosting says it is what it is. JD Legend is hosting. Tala John says, why is Sanji your favorite straw hat? Reverie boxing match? Question mark. Again, the Reverie is not in person, so I don't know if we're going to be doing much boxing. But Sanji is not my favorite straw hat. No one's my favorite straw hat. You guys don't need to know who my favorite straw hat is. George Entz is praying Taekwon makes this Reverie. I don't really know who Jig is going to let in. I mean, I know he's in the group chat, but the group chat's also, like, I don't know if Jay's going to, like, just let other people in who are not in the group chat. Luz Vasquez says, who will you fight in the One Piece YouTube boxing match? I mean, I feel like Tekking would be easy to beat, so I'll take that. Zora says, how's your Wano reread going? I haven't even started, man. I'll have to take a look at that later. I'm probably not going to reread Wano till, like, the arc actually ends, because otherwise it's just, like, then I catch up to it, then I got to wait a few more weeks for the final closing chapters to come out and everything like that. It's just easier if I, like, let the whole thing end and then I spend a week reading. A lot of people try to stir up some violence for the Reverie. This will be an interesting one. This will be by far the most, I think, contentious one. Or maybe not the most contentious. I think it'll be by far the one with the most underlying tension. You know? I don't know if anybody's actually going to be mean to anybody during the Reverie, but it'll be by far the most underlying tension. All right, I'm going to get another one of these real quick. I'll be back in a second. Wait, let me leave you guys with something juicy so that people don't just leave. What's a juicy question? Nobody's giving questions. People are just saying Bollywood dance and random spam. They're boring questions. When do I think Anna will return? Why is that interesting? It's not interesting. Yamil Diaz says, I feel like Joy Girl can win the Reverie. She's small and scrappy. Nobody will see her coming. Yeah, different strats for different people. That's for sure. Adit Singh asking for the time of the Reverie. I think 3 EST we just said. Supreme Pirate King says the Reverie will end in failure. I think this will be a good one. I think it'll be a good one. There's like a lot to talk about. Not as good as my Reverie, that's for sure. My Reverie was great. 10 hours. I think everybody pretty much made it. And I don't think it was that, like, tedious. I think it was actually pretty interesting conversation from start to finish. Zora says, thoughts on the Batman movie? Did you watch it? I've not seen the Batman just yet. Keep forgetting. Anime Devil Hunter says, Einar really 1v4 with the farmhands, loving the arc. Wait, is Vinland Saga anime out already? No, no way. When's it out? Are you talking about the manga? Nah, it's not out yet. Trailer's not even out. Anime, no, we covered you. How would I describe Lost Powers in my own words? Broken. Tobbs93 says, thoughts on sports anime, i.e. Slam Dunk / Hajime no Ippo / Haikyuu. I mean, like, I liked Ping Pong the animation. I thought that was good. I liked Ping Pong the animation quite a bit. I thought it was actually great. I haven't watched any other sports anime besides that one. So I'm probably going to try Haikyuu at some point. I just am. I'll come back to you when when I've covered that. Rafi says trailer is out for Vinland Season 2. I actually did not see that. I could react on this stream, but I'm a little worried because I got to figure out my react stuff beforehand to make sure that I don't get the stream taken down. TCB says, will you continue reviewing the newest Berserk chapter? That's a hard maybe. That's a hard maybe. Because Berserk, okay. How do I say this? So, okay. Berserk, I want to do content on other series. I put out that Berserk chapter review just to kind of test, just to get a little test of like, what would the reception be if I'm doing something else that's not One Piece on this channel. And it was about like, I don't know, like 20-30% of my normal viewership. So 25-30% of my normal viewership. So not great, but also not like abysmal. So that has me thinking like, okay, if I want to cover other series for sure, then one, I don't want to just do chapter reviews. For me, that's not that fun and interesting. So I have been working on some analysis stuff for other series, including Berserk, including JoJo's, and actually including Vinland and Chainsaw Man. And Hunter x Hunter. So like there's some series that I really want to cover and I've got like drafts for. I was even going to do a Berserk analysis video during this one month One Piece break. But like just time-wise, I was like, okay, if I'm going to do it, I don't want to just throw it out. So maybe I just do a whole new channel to cover other series and stuff like that. So there's a larger commitment that has to be there. So I'm still toying with it. Like there's drafts for things. There's a Berserk video that's the furthest along in terms of drafts. So you guys might see that soon. But I don't want to get you guys like, I don't want to make any solid claims or anything. Just know that that's something I've been working on and spent some time working on during the break and may eventually come out. Maybe soon, maybe later. I don't know. So people actually saw the draft of it when I like screen shared one time. Somebody was calling out like, hey, look, there's a Berserk analysis video draft on one of his tabs open. I was like, fuck. Shit. Cat's out of the bag. But it wasn't really a big deal at the end of the day. Zora says, I love Sanji. That's funny. Nathan H says, thoughts on the new Tatsumaki Fujimoto one-shot? Just listen to the song if you've read it yet. I thought it was Good by Eri was the recent one. I didn't see that one. That's interesting. I mean, Chainsaw Man's coming back, I think, in this month for sure. So we'll find out how that's going. But I didn't know he put out a new one-shot in the meantime, too. Amarawat says, I Shield 21 is the best sports manga. Yeah, but everybody says other things are like the best. Like, some people are like, it's like Slam Dunk. Some people are like, it's Haikyuu. Some people are like, it's Hajime no Ippo. Like, I don't even know. Everybody says different shit. Power Vision says, have you heard of Puggy? Can you go through the live theater characters that Oda actually designed? Want drunk Morj takes on these characters, lol. I don't even know what that is. Anna Baba says, why do you need a second channel? This is the Morj channel. Oh, it's just YouTube algorithm purposes. You don't want to, like, give a bunch of One Piece fans a bunch of content that they're not interested in. It's just, like, it's not going to do as well in the algorithm. It's easier to just direct people to a new channel. And if they vibe with the stuff on that channel, then that channel grows its own following. That was how the movie channel started off. And it started off pretty hot. But then I just had to drop it for a bit. If only what could have been. I might go back to that. I don't know yet. I also don't want to get into the state of, like, doing too many channels. So I'm like, I got to pick my time. Maybe I just go back to doing some movie content. Everyone says Ippo is still really, really good. I just don't know. Like, how do you follow a boxing series for that long? But I guess that's what people say about One Piece. So we'll find out. What is this? What's AJK linking me? No! I'm not pulling this up. You guys don't need that on screen. Don't even worry about that. Marco says Movie Morj is the best Morj. I loved Movie Morj because it was just like, it was fun for me because I get to talk about variety and I actually get to, you know, do something new. And at the same time, like, I actually get to do more in-depth analysis. So I miss Movie Morj quite a bit. But, you know, it is what it is. Zoro says, nothing can beat Water 7, Ennis Lobby, and Arlong Park. Yeah, I mean, I put Alabasta in there as well. But for me, those are the arcs that had the strongest storytelling for the Straw Hats end of things for the main characters. Michael Valdez says, Morj, would you consider doing old manga with like 20th century boys and shit? Probably not. Probably not. I might read those at some point if I really like it. Maybe I'll give it a shot. But, you know. AJK says Chinho Wong, Morj is still salty. Wait, what am I salty about now? Okay. What do I gotta track back? Okay, Chinho says, Morj, read Power Vision. I addressed Power Vision. What do I gotta read now? Why are you guys always telling me to read stuff? I addressed Power Vision's Puggy comment. What else am I supposed to say? '20th century? Yeah, I might try at some point. I mean, in terms of how good Wano... Okay, so in terms of how much I enjoyed Wano and how good I think Wano is, I will do that video once the arc wraps. So I would have loved if like, you know, Oda goes on his 1 month break with Wano arc finished, like with the Wano arc wrapped up, so that then I could get out my videos. I could get my analysis video out. I could get my big review video out of like my personal thoughts and feelings and like what I like, didn't like. But that's not what happened, right? So I can't really do that stuff till the arc actually ends. Once the arc ends, then you can actually go through the whole thing, reread it, whatever. But at the moment, I can't really do like a full review thing because I have no idea, like, you know, what's going to happen in the next few chapters. So I got to wait a little bit. Timing's a little frustrating, but it is what it is. Ace Prolific says, Morj, do you like wings, bone, or no bone? You gotta have with bone. Like, who... You can't have wings with no bone. Like, I think I've talked about this on stream before, but... Like, what are you? Are you like a baby? Are you like a child? You can't have bones inside your wings? You gotta have bone... Like, who has boneless wings? You're like an infant? Did your teeth not come in? Like, it's the... 50% of the joy is, you know, that you're actually eating like a real piece of meat with bone in it. Not like some weird McDonald's chicken nugget. Zora says, we Morj gang will be there for you in the reverie. Good to know. It'll be a contentious chat, that's for sure. Faris Whoopshit says, Morj, can you say my friend Pablo's a beta and his One Piece theories are terrible? Sure. Yeah, fuck Pablo. He's a fucking beta and his One Piece theories are terrible. Just tuned in and thought he was talking about Lunarians for a second. All right. Oh no. I think we're getting spammed by... Do I have to put naked HD fun in slow mode? I'll turn on slow mode if we have to turn on slow mode. So Adrian Aquin is saying, I was agnostic to your idea that the raid would fail, but I thought it would have been at least 15 to 20 chapters longer with more struggle and slightly longer fights and the citizens seeing the Kaido fight. I thought a lot of things, man. I thought a lot of things, but it wasn't to be. Was it Pablo's fault? Did Pablo send these? Zora says beer versus wine versus whiskey. They all have different purposes. Like, I think I can drink... You can drink wine over a longer period of time than beer. So beer you have to be, like, in the mood for. They all just have different purposes. Like, I think if I'm drinking with, like in a pub... I don't know. Like, in a more... like casual social settings, more like a party type setting, like beer's the best. Something slightly more formal, classy, like, you know, you're at a like restaurant, whatever, or like out on the deck with your family or something like that. I like wine. And then whiskey is purely, I mostly just like whiskey, and if it's like, I generally don't even like whiskey that much, but like if you're having a shot or something like that, it's my preference. Caleb Brown says, hey Morj, do you like the Toby Ropo, and do you think they still might be relevant characters in the story? Maybe joining Kids Crew. I don't think the Toby Ropo are going to be relevant, because I think they got so little that's like hard to imagine them still, like what are they going to bring to the story still being around, but I might be wrong. Jose Larry says, beer is trash, I hate it. I think beer is an acquired taste. Like, it's definitely the one that like, because like whiskey, everybody goes into drinking whiskey knowing that it's fucking whiskey, like it's supposed to burn, it's supposed to suck, so people are like prepared. But beer is the thing that like you've seen on TV growing up. Oh, everybody just loves beer, right? Everyone just loves beer. Everyone goes through like cans and cans of beer. You see like Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin, whatever. You see all these characters just drinking beer like it's nothing, and then you finally try beer and you're like, wow, this fucking sucks. It's kind of like coffee. And then you just keep trying it, mostly through peer pressure, for long enough, and then eventually you're like, fuck yeah, I like this. That's why peer pressure is great sometimes. Actually, like, peer pressure, I think peer pressure is underrated, because peer pressure, it does a lot of good for you in your life over time. You know? Because, like, think back to how many things you wouldn't have done or wouldn't have tried if not for peer pressure. Now, can it go too far sometimes? Yes. Those kids should probably not have made you try cocaine. But, for the most part, peer pressure is pretty good. Damone Nickerson says, Ken second, iShield 21 is great. All right, so we got 2 for iShield 21. I'll definitely read that now. Jino Wong saying iShield 21 greater than One Punch Man. Pretty random comparison, but I get. Oh wait, is it the same mangaka? Did Murata do iShield? Yeah. Okay, no, makes sense. Makes sense. Jacob Tomas says depends what they're pressuring you to do. Yeah, like if they're telling you to jump off a bridge, you know, there's a classic saying for that. But for the most part, you know, peer pressure's okay. It's okay. Oh, Adrian Akeen says, did Morj do a fight tier list stream yet? We could do best fights in Onigashima, but it's also like, there's not enough to do a proper tier list. Like, it felt like there were a lot of fights, but it's also, well, you can include shit like Raizo versus Fukurokuju. So it's like, you know, it's, if you stretch your definitions of a fight, you could get a lot of fights in. All right, I'm going to grab another beer. Don't leave. I'll be back in 2 minutes. AJK says, Morj, whatever the herd is saying, don't let it put you down. I swear you brought the best videos on Wano from all the YouTube community. Don't let the clickbaiters tell you we're wrong or bad. That's nice to hear. Cheers to AJK. Appreciate you. All right, we don't need to get into any direct comparisons because we're not looking for trouble. So let's just leave it at that. Jacob Tomas says, are people actually unironically bullying Morj? So, I mean, okay. I generally don't mind that much. Okay, here's the things I'm sad about. I'm sad about the story, all right? That's number one. Number two, I was worried that, wait, if the raid doesn't fail, then does everybody stop watching my channel? That has actually not only not happened, but I've gotten better viewership. I've gotten better viewership ever since the Wano arc and, like, the raid ended. So, like, my last 3 One Piece videos are doing better than anything that was going on, like, 2-3 months before. So, I guess a lot of people actually were previously not watching me because of the raid fail stuff. And now that the raid's over, people are down to watch me again. So, that's actually a very pleasant surprise. 3 is actually, okay, the memes, the Twitter stuff, it's like, it's just, that's inevitable. So, you set yourself up for that. That's nothing, like, there's just nothing to be said about that. That's just what it is. So, like, it's like, some stuff is also funny, so you gotta be like, okay, that's funny. At the same time, I'm like, well, I kind of just gotta ride this out. It's just the way it is. I know if I'd been right, I would have been a giant asshole about it. So you can't really complain when everybody else is a giant asshole about it. Like, it's just the way it goes. It's like, you see it in literally any other thing. If you, like, you know, if you're KD, you get swept in the first round, yeah, you're going to get some memes made about you. You're going to get roasted on the internet for a while. That's just shit that happens. So that's not a big deal. That's fine. I literally don't care about that. I do think that there's stuff where it's like that the stuff that I want to talk about more is basically like actual discussion about the Wano arc and defending my viewpoint or criticism of my views, stuff like that. So, like, when it comes to serious discussion, then I have a lot to say on that. But I'm holding off on that at the moment till the arc actually ends, and then it's, like, fair to actually give a breakdown. So, for the moment, stuff that's, like, roasting me, blah, 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 I don't care about that. Stuff that's, like, more serious discussion about, like, oh, Wano was a perfect arc, or, like, a well-constructed arc, or, like, there was nothing wrong about Wano, or, like, readers' expectations were wrong. Shit like that, like, I actually have something to say about, or I actually think, you know, there are like a million arguments that are being overlooked, or like a million things that you're having to sweep under the surface that have never been swept under the surface for any other One Piece arc. I think there's a shit ton of that happening with Wano. So, like, actual discussion and breakdown of the arc, and where I feel like there's certain things that are, like, drastically, I shouldn't even say anything on this stream, especially now with the way I'm right now. But my overall thoughts on the arc, like, serious discussion that I want to have, I do have to wait on that. So that's the only thing that, like, it's kind of brewing in the back of my mind, which is, like, serious discussion of what happened with the arc. That's pretty much it. But anything else, like, roast, etc., it's just like, fuck, yeah, I pretty much, like, this is just what's going to happen. That's, like, natural. Adrian Hakeem says, thoughts on Yamato for Straw Hat and her character arc. I mean, that's something I'd like to discuss, but we're going to wait on that. I think it sucks. Let's just say that. Bo Scotty says, did you see IBDW's anti-pop-off on Hungrybox yesterday at Gommel? And if so, what did you think about it, lol? So I was confused because I was like, I didn't watch Gommel. I just was busy that day. So I didn't watch Gommel. I was busy this whole weekend, so I didn't really get a chance to see Gommel. I saw later on IBDW's pop-off, but I was confused because he lost. But then I saw, like, the ledge dash limit thing, so I was like, okay, so he won. But, I didn't understand why he did all that. Was it because he thought he won because of the ledge grab limit? Not the ledge dash limit, ledge grab limit. I'm sure it would have been really funny to see live. But for me, it was kind of like one of those things I'm kind of just browsing, so it comes up on my phone. So I'm like, oh, this was the thing. Okay, it doesn't really make sense to me. Okay, moving on. Then I kind of got it later. Jinho Wong says, no Dawn, no Act 3 end, no Wano end yet. I mean, Act 3, okay, look, we're not going to overdose on copium here. The dawn is there, right? It's sunny outside last we saw, right? Is it not sunny outside? Did we see sunny Wano? We saw sunny Wano. We saw sunny Wano. Obviously, it's nighttime right now, but in general, Wano is sunny. So the dawn is there, right? Dawn is there. I thought it would have been cool if the night would have ended with the sun coming up or some shit, but I guess that wasn't to be. We kind of cut to 7 days later. So the dawn is there. Act 3 end, it's kind of like, well, I mean, we'll probably get an Act 3 ending curtain thing when the Straw Hats actually leave Wano. I don't know if we'd get it just yet. So, yeah. Everything and nothing says CA can healthy Hyogoro beats a Calamity. I don't think so. Maybe. It's like, because we saw, like, Ashura Doji do well against a Calamity. We saw Inuarashi Nekomamushi go even with Jack, even beat him in Sulong form. It's like, I don't know. Where do you stack Hyogoro against those guys? It's hard to say. Oh, wait, let me mod Curran. Because I was supposed to. And then let me not answer his question. Because it's too controversial. Marquise NYC says Canada is a nice country, clean as fuck. I've been to Canada. It's like okay. It's real okay. I remember I went to Canada. What's that big city? What's the city where it's the city where McGill University is. Yeah. So we went to Montreal. This was around the time I was considering going to colleges and stuff. Not consider. I did end up going to college, but picking what college to apply to, stuff like that. So we visited Canada, and we also visited McGill because we were just in Canada, right? So we went to Montreal, and it was like, okay, so this is like Canada's city, right? This is the city. This is the big one. This is Montreal, right? This is the one you hear about. It's like, cool, this is the best they've got. Giant expanse of land, Canada, right? Montreal is the best they've got. So let's check it out. Let's see what they got. And so walking through the city, it's like, okay, solid. Got some buildings and stuff. It's no New York. They got some stuff here. Solid, walking a bit, and then you kind of just hit a point where there's no more buildings and stuff. And you're looking around, it's like, well, where's the rest of it? What happened here? And then you kind of just realize, oh, that's it. That's basically their city. It's just that. All right. Kind of walk. Maybe we walked across a very narrow part of Montreal or something like that, but I'll just say the one time I've been to Canada, not impressed by Montreal. I'll just say that. Tobbs93 says, who wins, Sanji with no legs or Zoro with no arms? This is like an actual question, though. I think Zoro with no arms would win. It's just generally harder to fight with no legs. Like, forget which character you are. It's harder to fight with no legs than no arms. Wait, no, other way around. Yeah, it's harder to fight with no legs than no arms. Like, Zoro can kick. We've seen Zoro kick pretty good. Sanji canonically cannot punch. He's not allowed to. Surreal Soviet says, Wano had potential to be top 1, but I still have it top 5 because of so many hype moments. Page 1 got done too dirty, though. Also missed the earlier super. What did I miss? Let me see. What's your name? What was it? Surreal Soviet? Let's take a look. I don't see an earlier super from you. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. This banquet, Surreal Soviet said, this banquet is supposed to be in Jinmei's honor, but he's isolated from the crew. Probably cope, but could mean there's more to the arc. It could mean there's more to the arc, but it could also just mean, like, they want to make a big thing of it with, like, next chapter, Jinbei showing up to the banquet and then being like, okay, time to toast to him and everything like that. So maybe separating it to give his toast moment a bit more of a, bit more pizzazz, like a bit more of its own isolated scene or moment. You know what I mean. Adrian Akeen says, I think his major was political science. Yeah, I did government politics. Easiest major of all time. Don't recommend. I did nothing with it. 10,000 Noodle says, why did everyone forget where Zoro holds his third sword? Because I think it's hard to imagine Zoro fighting with just the sword in his mouth, you know? Because we always see it's like, okay, 1, he's using one hand, 2, he's using 2 hands, and then 3 is when he starts using his mouth. We've never seen Zoro, as far as I remember, just using the sword in his mouth. So it's like, it's harder to imagine how well he'd do. I'm sure he would still do well, but it's just like, you know, it's like, we've never seen it. Regretting my major choice? I don't regret government politics. How do I explain this? Okay, I don't regret government politics because I think I knew from the start that I would never use it for anything, right? So I think I knew from day one that I was never going to be a fucking congressperson or some shit, right? So I knew that from day one. So I think I knew I was taking it. I thought I was maybe going to be a lawyer because I did mock trial, high school, college and stuff, and I was very good at that. Just so you all know. I thought that was something I could do. But as I went on, I learned that being a lawyer, the court stuff is like 5% of the job, and many lawyers don't even do anything in court. And then like 95% of the job is the boring homework shit. It like being a lawyer, it's, from what I understand, it's literally like doing homework for your job. Imagine your job is just doing homework. You're just poring over papers and case law and boring shit and just being like, okay, so technically this is this, blah, blah. Like, you have to do so much research, reading, homework bullshit. It's not fun at all. It's not like Suits or whatever, okay? So I also knew in the back of my mind I'm probably not going to be a lawyer. So why was I doing government politics in college? I don't remember. I think I just didn't want to do a lot of work, but I wanted a college degree. And I was like, I'll make it work somehow post this. So I don't regret doing government and politics because I got everything I wanted out of college. Academics was not something I cared that much about in college. So I got everything that I cared about. Like, it was fun. College is a good environment in general, in that like it does force you to be smarter, engage with people in like a certain way, right? Engage with, you know, different schools of thought, higher level education, right? It's more competitive in general. So when you are actually doing shit, it's in a better environment. Like, there's a lot to be said for that, right? Just the environment of college, right? But in terms of actually showing up to class and learning the nitty gritty technicalities of government, I couldn't give two fucks about that because it doesn't really matter, right? So, I don't regret my major choice. I'm happy that I didn't go into something for STEM that would have made me work like 10 hours a day or whatever throughout those 4 years. I'm happy with what I picked. I do think that I could have probably gotten a leg up on where I am now, I guess. There's nothing I could have done in college that would have set me up better for YouTube, but YouTube's just one side of things. I think if I'd learned more about business and marketing, then that would have been if I'd done that as my major, that would have been very helpful, I think, for the business that I do. But same time, one person that we worked with for a long time was he was a business major, and that didn't really contribute anything knowledge-wise to what we were trying to do. So there's a lot to be said for, you know, college not actually setting you up for practical skills in the real world, because like the shit that they teach you in business classes in college, it's really, really not similar to what you actually need to know if you're trying to start your own thing in the real world. That's just my 2 cents on it. Talha John says, Calamities versus Sweet Generals in 1v1s. I would take the Sweet Generals. I mean, I thought Cracker was more impressive than Jack. I thought Katakuri is more impressive than King. We haven't seen much of Smoothie, but Queen doesn't seem that impressive to me, so, you know, it's either way. No, I was not in a frat. But I had several close friends who did join. I think it just felt very, it's intimidating conceptually. Because, like, okay, first of all, being a frat boy, there's such a large range of frats. There are people that I knew who joined frats who are not fraternity, like, but there's bottom tier frats and top tier frats, right? There's like a wide range. Being in a frat or not being in a frat, like, it doesn't say that much on its own, in my opinion, because, like, there's people that join the lower tier frats that have no respect or anything. Like, it's just a wide range, right? But the bigger thing is that it's just a very I as a person cannot be around other people for that long periods of time. All right, fraternities are very social, like very very social. Almost, it's like a 24/7 lifestyle almost. I'm not that type of a person at all. Um, like I like having fun at my like when I want to, if that makes sense, right? But I also like spending, 2-3 days purely to myself, just watching or reading stuff. It doesn't lend itself to like my close friends who were joining fraternities and stuff. I knew that they were more about that lifestyle, plus the dues, plus the absolutely brutal hazing that I understood that they had to go through for like 6 months at a time. And just the whole combination of it felt a little too much like I know that that's not something that that I'm built for. But I know that the long term, like if you are willing to like live like that for all of college, then like the people who are in frats, like they don't regret it at all. So, you know. Guitar Hero says, Morj, what do you call your viewers / fans? Question mark, Morj links. I just call them subscribers. I just assume you're all subscribed. Who's not subscribed? Let me ask right now. Are you subscribed? I gotta know. Yes. All right. That's pretty good. All right. Everybody go subscribe to Morj Unleashed. It's pinned at the top of this chat. It's even better than the main Morj channel. By far. 50 times better. Red Hawk says, can we be called Morgers? I think that shit's up to you. I think that's up to you. Bruh says Morj is truly a boomer. What did I say that's boomerish? I'm not a boomer. I don't have enough Usopp content. That's probably true. But here's the thing. I have to tailor my content a bit to what gets clicks. So actually, you guys don't know the YouTube side of things, right? Can you guess what characters get the most clicks? Guess. Most clicks, it's there's 2 characters that are close to guaranteed good click through. Zulkar Ahmed says you would love philosophy in college. I took a lot of I almost did a philosophy minor in college because I did enough classes in college that I was basically like 2 off from like I took philosophy enough as electives that I was basically right there that I could have just done it as a minor. But last semester it just didn't work out that I could take another like I needed like 2 more phil classes basically of high high level phil classes basically to get the minor. There just wasn't space. So I didn't even think I was going to be a philosophy minor. It was kind of like I just ended up taking that as like those are always my favorite classes. So I just ended up taking those as electives enough that like I was creeping up on graduation and I was like, oh, I could actually just get a philosophy minor, but it just didn't work out scheduling wise. And I was always one of those kids that like, you got to register for classes and stuff. I would always do that at the last minute. So I could have even made it, but I just register for classes so late. So I always get the short end of the whatever the fuck's left. So fortunately worked out that way. Okay, so you guys are correct. Zoro is great for clicks. Zoro is great for clicks. Shanks. So Raffi is the first person to bring up Shanks. So Shanks is the secret weapon. Little Kip. Zoro is big. Zoro is great. He gets you a lot of clicks. Shanks is kind of like the ace in the hole because you can't overuse Shanks. But I think if you ask other YouTubers or whatever, it's kind of like a, I guess, industry secret or whatever. But most people are aware that, Shanks, he gets attention. Like, he gets people's interest. He catches the eye. A lot of people will click if you got Shanks on a thumbnail. So it's not something you can overdo or overuse. It's like Shanks himself in the story, right? The way Oda uses Shanks, that's kind of how YouTubers have to use Shanks. Oda uses Shanks sparingly. Once every 100 chapters or so, you have 100, 200, 300 chapters or so, he has Shanks show up, do some cool shit, leave a bunch of hype on the table, and then exit the story, never to be seen again, right? He just shows up in Marijoa for no reason, shows up in Marineford for no reason. He just shows up. He likes to show up places, be exciting, and then go away. And that's like what the Shanks hype train is built on, right? So that's basically the same thing from a YouTube perspective. If you put Shanks on every thumbnail, it doesn't work. But if you do a video once in a while with Shanks in it, most people are pretty interested in that. No one in particular says, I'm tired of all the Zoro videos out there. Yeah, Zoro's like the opposite. You can just slap Zoro on anything, and it'll still probably work decently well. You could do like 10 videos in a row with Zoro as the thumbnail, and it's probably going to just do just fine. So people like Zoro, people like Shanks. Karin says, Shanks has appeared in only 18 chapters. Yeah, that's actually, it's insane. And it does, the influence that Shanks has over the One Piece community for the number of chapters that he's shown up in, the actual proportional screen time he has, I can't think of another series with anything close. You got like Jing from Hunter x Hunter, but now he's an active force in the series pretty regularly. I mean, like he's in the current arc, right? I don't think that there's anything quite like Shanks like that in terms of like popularity / hype to and love for that character. That to actual chapter count, that ratio, I don't think there's anything like that in other series. I mean, I think Film Red is the ultimate example of this, right? Film Red is the full self-aware proof that they know that they can make a full movie called Film Red, have Shanks as the mascot for this movie, right? Basically the piece that you would expect this whole thing to be about. They can frame that whole bullshit like that and then just be like, you know what? And it's not even about him. It's just about some kid we just made up. But it's Shanks' kid. So now you gotta watch. And people will watch. Because that's how Shanks works. It's pure hype. And you don't need anything else. You just need the hype. It'll work on me too. Well, I probably won't watch Film Red, but you know how it is. I like Shanks. I look forward to Shanks' next appearance. I don't care that he'll only show up for like 2 pages, say something weird and mysterious, and then never be seen again. It's okay. That's what Shanks is for. As long as he doesn't just show up and dye to Blackbeard, I'll be happy. I just want some cool Shanks shit, and then he can dye to Blackbeard. But first, let's get some cool stuff, right? Let's not just have him finally be in the story and then just die to Blackbeard. You know? Phantom Greyfire brought up Oof. I'm curious about this too, just because it's been a while. Tala Jahan says, top 5 best One Piece characters for thumbnail clicks. I mean, this is really giving out the secret juice, but I don't think anyone really cares. You guys aren't YouTubers, and if you are, this will probably only help you. So, I don't mind. I mean, it's not like a strict top 5, because it's going to vary a little bit on what's topical, right? So, like, Kaido is really hot for a bit, and then after a while, people are used to Kaido being in everybody's thumbnails and stuff. So, the ones that are constants that I think always get good clicks, Zoro, Shanks. Katakuri was good for, this is where you get more topical, right? Katakuri was great for a while. Now his star has kind of waned. Doflamingo. I think even Law's a pretty good staple. Luffy is great if you can get images of Luffy in like special forms or doing something crazy, right? Like if you can get like, you know how many Luffy Gear 5th type thumbnails just do phenomenal work in the YouTube algorithm? before Gear 5th was actually revealed, right? All the fan art of Luffy Gear 5th. Like, if you can do all sorts of stuff with Luffy if you're showing something new for Luffy, like new form, new power-up, something like that. If you got that in the thumbnail, people will click. Beyond that, it gets a little tricky. Let me say this. There's no other strats that are real, like, clickbait beyond Luffy, Zoro, and sometimes Sanji. Like, Sanji could be clickbait if something hype has just happened for Sanji in the story, or if, you know, you're suggesting some new power-up or something for him. I'd say Zoro and Shanks are the... Oh, Mihawk is pretty good. But in general, Zoro, Shanks, I think those are kind of the guys that people really, really like seeing. And are kind of just like go-to, you know, clickbait for a lot of viewers. Terry Martin says, have you ever read Golden Kamuy? You're like the 5th person that's like hard suggested that. And you said recently read it. It has one of the most compelling cast of characters and overall narrative of any manga. So a lot of people have been pushing Golden Kamuy on me recently, and I'm saying a lot of people, including a couple people in real life. So I think I am actually gonna have to try that at some point soon. GDN says, Morj, what do you see happening in 1054? 1054 is exciting because I literally have no idea what's gonna happen. I genuinely have no idea. It's a really, really strange situation right now. So I'm excited to see 1054. All right, I'm going to probably call the stream in 15 minutes. I think that'll be a good time. Dabalito Ali says Nami in bikini. Okay, so fan service is a different category. Because fan service, you can get away with that with, like, any character, right? Like, it doesn't even have to be Nami. If you want to do fan service, you can throw in fucking... I don't know. I don't really have fan servicey thumbnails as far as I can recall. Maybe you guys can call me out if I'm wrong, but as far as I remember, I'm pretty sure that's always been the case. Oh, I was gonna ask who remembers Oof. I'm just curious. Be honest on this. I'm getting a bit of a gauge. Do you remember Oof? I'm getting a bit of a gauge of the stream evolution over time. Because I think I've been doing regular weekly streams for maybe like a year and a half now. Not each week. I know I've been inconsistent sometimes. As of late, I've been very consistent. But Oof is one of the... I'd say Oof was the first true classic Morj stream. 50%. Okay. No. Now 55% saying no. That makes sense. Because it's been quite a bit. So the channel's grown a decent amount since then. And the streams in particular have grown a decent amount since then. So that was the first, I'd say, certified classic Morj stream. That's, to date, one of my favorite streams. Because it was one of the first streams that went a little bit off the rails for me. And I didn't really know where things were going. But I internally found it hilarious. Jose Larry says, isn't Oof a sound effect? Yeah, see, now you have people who don't know. People who weren't around. 10,000 Noodle says, I'm new. Okay, in short, let's just say this. In short, this is actually fucked up because I don't even remember exactly what happened. It's been so long. I can tell my version of events, all right? And the fun part is that Oof is no longer with us. So... he can't really tell his version of events. Or Oof is a she. We'll never know. We don't really know what Oof look like, who they are. I like to assume they're just a bad person. Oof is no longer with us, so you can only hear my version of events. People in chat might try and make up some version of their events, but mine is the one to be trusted. As I remember, Oof was this person who was... Okay. I don't even remember what happened. I was trying to click on Oof. Oof is just a random person in chat. I was trying to click on their comment, and then I accidentally banned them. And then this caused a whole lot of controversy for some reason or another, because I couldn't figure out how to unban them. Because I wasn't a pro streamer at this point in time, right? This was young Morj trying to learn. All right? Now I could ban and unban people like that. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't really know if I could unban people like that. But at the time, I definitely couldn't. So I accidentally banned this person. I was trying to figure out how to unban them. And then I very quickly gave up. And then that led to a lot of people rioting in chat demanding that I unban this person named Oof. And I came to a conclusion, which was that, you know what? If Oof got banned on accident, well, I like to believe that in life there are no accidents. So Oof was probably a shitty person. So I stood by that ban, and I was very proud of it. But for the rest of the stream, people were mean to me for banning Oof. So I held a few polls to determine whether I was in the right or Oof. And what do you know? The polls were rigged. And somehow everyone voted against me, and they sided with Oof. And that's basically the gist of things. So to date, Oof remains probably the most notorious villain of Morj streams. Rightfully still banned. Hopefully passed away onto the next world. So never to be seen of again. That's pretty much the full story. But once in a while, you get some Oof inheritors. So I'll see some people carrying on the will of Oof, showing up in chat with Oof as their name. But I know it's not the real Oof. I just have a feeling. I'll know when I see the real Oof show back up. I'll just feel it in my gut, in my heart. I'll know. That's observation hockey, whatever you want to call it. Marco says disappeared like God Valley. R.I.P. Oof. Yeah, Oof basically got great cleansed. He got a Buster called, whatever you want to word it as. The will of Oof, pretty much. Inferno says, what about Don Quixote de Joker? Don Quixote de Joker is a shorter story. It's not even a story, really. It's the only case. Okay, this was back when I was modding people, like, for no reason at all. I would mod people that I guess because chat was a lot smaller, so I had, like, less people to ask things, if that makes sense. So I'd ask something like, oh, in the Skype arc, did this or that happen or something? First person to answer me gets mod. That's what I would do, because fewer people in the stream, so I couldn't, like, rely on everybody spitting out answers or whatever. So I'd just say, like, oh, can somebody tell me this? First person to let me know just gets mod. So I stopped doing that after this one guy named Don Quixote de Joker ended up... I ended up modding him because he, like, quickly answered a question for me or something. So I'm like, fuck it, you're a mod. This dude went wild with power faster than I think anybody has ever gone wild with power. All right? Immediate spam, lots of emojis of, like, the sunglasses face and shit. Like I don't know about emojis or shit, but, like, it was just, I'm pretty sure, yeah, a lot of, like, emojis of him, like, with sunglasses and stuff like that, just being like, I've got absolute power now. Goes rampant in chat for, like, the next 15 minutes. Probably bans a lot of people. Probably says a lot of bad shit. And then after a bit, I'm like, wait, I could probably just unmod this guy. I don't know if I need to keep everyone who's a mod as a mod. This probably sets a pretty bad precedent. And so then I unmodded him. And that's pretty much the full story. But it's like the one time I found out what the dark side of modding the wrong person could look like. But he didn't care because he was a troll. So for him, it was just like a fun stint of, like, basically being given, like, a police badge for no reason and then getting to run around the city and shooting shit up for a bit. And then, like, the commissioner is like, hey, I need you to hand in your gun and your badge. And he's like, all right, I don't really care. It's like, okay. But let that be a lesson to you other mods. See, look at this. So Creme Brulee 444 just showed up. This is actually a perfect example. All right? Someone named Creme Brulee 444 just showed up in chat, and they've got a mod wrench next to them. Who the fuck is Creme Brulee 444? Why are you a mod? I don't remember modding you. Who are you? Who is this person? Who is this? I literally don't remember who Creme Brulee 444 is. I demand an explanation. Is this someone who I modded from way back in the dark days when I was, like, just modding people for no reason? I demand answers. Creme Brulee 444, make a case for why you're a mod and why it wasn't an accident. Jordan Dyer says, bending in Avatar The Last Airbender, pre-Korra, top 5 power system. It's a top 5 power system. I think it's, like, an extraordinarily simple power system that they made look really, really cool because they involved real-world martial arts influence to choreograph the bending styles. So the power system is really fucking basic. Bending in Avatar is the most basic fucking power system you can possibly have. You just have 4 elements. And sometimes you can branch off a little bit and be like, well, this one can do lightning stuff and this one can do blue fire. Spoilers, blue fire does the exact same shit as normal fire. Ice, you can do some water ice shit. Bloodbending is cool. But like, there's some branching off and stuff like that. But other series already have that shit. Naruto, that's like the basics. You branch, like, you have your basic elements, you branch off from there. Black Clover, same thing. Fairy Tail, whatever. Like, even the most basic anime or whatever, you're gonna have your 4 elements, and then you're gonna branch off from there into other shit, right? After The Last Airbender, bending is like really, really basic as a concept. What's cool is how it's choreographed and how it's how it's turned, like, it's made to feel more like real world martial arts that just have an extra spice to them versus, you know, just characters shooting superpowered blasts at each other. So it's almost more grounded in the sense that they keep the power system simplistic, but they tie it more to real world combat to make it feel like more grounded combat that's also more visually and, like, you know, how do I say, like, visually more exciting but feels more real than normal, like, anime combat, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to roast Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love Avatar's fighting style for that reason, for what it is. Like, they didn't go hardcore into, like, super moves and all that sort of shit. It's like, no, we can work off of real world martial arts and, like, actual real world fighting styles and stuff, and we can just make it more visually exciting, more interesting and varied by working in these simple forms of, like, elemental attacks, right? So you got fire, you got water, you got air, you got earth. That's all you really need. You can add some more spice to it as you go along with metal and ice and lightning and shit, but for the most part, the real juiciness of it is that it's a real world grounded combat. Creme Brulee 444 says, I don't go power crazy. Who are you? Who is this person? When did you become a mod? Creme Brulee 444 says, what? I don't even do anything wrong. Do you do anything at all? Is that phrase actually supposed to be, what? I don't even do anything? I've never seen you as a mod. I watch every week. I just don't chat much. You know what? That's good enough. I take it back. If you watch every week, well then, you're welcome here anytime. Keep your mod status. Again, I've only ever taken away mod status from Don Quixote D. Joker. Talha Jahan says, surprise dude named Don Quixote D. Joker went crazy, ? Yeah, I probably should have seen it coming in hindsight. Fry says, what's the best power system? I mean, I'm biased. I'm watching Hunter x Hunter right now, rewatching it. So I'm biased. I'll say Hunter. I like that quite a bit. JoJo's is the most fun. So it depends how you want to look at it. You know what I mean? JoJo's is definitely the most fun. Jose Larry says, you leave him alone, Morj. Yeah, don't worry. I've given up my hunt. Creme Brulee 444 says, I tell people to like also. All right, you know what? Sounds like Creme Brulee is a great mod, and we're lucky to have them. Chino Wong says, Morj Hunter x Hunter bias. Yeah, if I was watching JoJo's right now, I'd probably say JoJo's. So it's just recency bias of whatever I just watched last. AJK says, Morj, what's your philosophy on lying and liars? Cough, cough. Bollywood dance, cough, cough. My philosophy is that sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Bruh says Creme is the best mod. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. We're getting a strong, I guess, counter push. We've swung so hard into the Creme is a terrible mod category or direction, that now things are pivoting back hard towards Creme is actually the best mod. I don't know if we have to go that far. Creme Brulee 444 responds, thank you, with a heart sign. Shamelessly accepting this praise, which they know they don't deserve. What the fuck? Karan says, speaking of likes, like and subscribe to Morj Unleashed. Everybody listen to Karan. All right? We're wrapping the stream in like 20 seconds, all right? So go to the top of this chat, go to the Morj Unleashed channel. There you'll find stream highlights. You will find stream highlights of this stream as soon as this stream is over and highlights are made, which will be pretty soon. So if you missed part of the stream, beginning of the stream, middle of the stream, the end of the stream, if you just weren't paying attention for the last 15 minutes or something like that, you'll be able to find the highlights there. And yeah, definitely subscribe to that channel if you enjoyed more streams. I think with that, we're going to end this stream. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Go celebrate July 4th. You don't have to celebrate America, but you can celebrate July 4th. Go eat some barbecue. Go watch some fireworks. Go drink some something. Just go have a good time. That's the gist of what I'm trying to say. All right, thanks, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.